funny thing is that I think it's very interesting that
Even
Arsenal fans
funny thing is,
I'm beginning to think of themselves way bigger than yeah. I was just
so I say that was not a big team. No. We're trying to return to the glory days.
the glory days. There was never a glory days that you said Arsenal would maybe apart from Arsene Wenger's first few years of
2002,
all those
1, 2, 3, and
there's
4.
not been any time that you go to the top to the beginning of the season and say, okay, Arsenal are expected to win the league by fire, by force.
That is alright, people. We're back, and now since we have just 11 days to the start of the Premier League campaign, we'll be talking about the managers that we think are under hot pressure. All eyes are on them this season, and we think we'll be making a prediction of who we think will be getting sacked first among like the managers in the Premier League, because there are a whole lot of managers getting a new role, and their managers are expected to win something big this season. We all know who that is. It's certain Mikel Arteta of Arsenal, and an Arsenal fan, I hope he doesn't get sacked. But at the end of the day, we have to support our team, and we have to look way past it. Somebody that is not, if something is not working, you have to fix it. Even if you love the person so much, so dearly, you have to move. You have to just go past them. So, for me, it's great to be back. We're here to talk about.
I should be here again.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about Premier League managers that might be getting sacked, or managers that are actually under a lot of pressure this season. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, up to the top of my head, probably first thing about. I feel the manager is going to be sacked first off. He's one of these managers for Parker. I think he's not just good enough to be.
Nah, that's not fair.
He has shown over the last all the things he has brought back to the Premier League. He hasn't lasted.
But I think the Bournemouth side was actually, I think he got Bournemouth promoted, and then he played like the top 6 consecutively. How do you expect him to? He played Manchester City, Arsenal, Manchester United, Liverpool. How do you expect them to like cope with that?
So we saw him in the Fulham side too when he brought them to the league, to when they signed a whole lot of players and he still failed. So I just think he's a manager that's staying in championship. But I want to promote us. Yeah, let's start.
So you're saying Scott Parker might be
I am 100% certain he's going to be the first manager.
Let's talk about Thomas Frank now. Thomas Frank of Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
He went from from Brentford to Tottenham Hotspur. So do you think he has what it takes?
Yeah, you remind me of.
This is the biggest. This is first time playing Champions League, the biggest job ever in his career. Do you think he has what it takes to actually keep that job and actually take Tottenham Hotspur to the next step? Because they just won the Europa League.
Yeah,
there's the Champions League.
They've invested in this season too.
Not really compared to the other big 6, but I think he's still expected to do a job. So
yeah, he's still expected to do a job, and I think he reminds me of Nuno Espirito Santo when you get up, because when it's particular side that in your head, in the manager's head, in your psyche, you probably know, okay, I'm just here to punch above the rest and do punch above my weight and stuff like that. So yeah, you're probably thinking a 10th, 17th, 10th to 15th position is clearly enough for me. I feel that sort of mentality is still going to be in there, although he's going to know he's a
bigger responsibility now.
If you look at the Tottenham Hotspur, I don't think they are a side that are also tailor-made for what he has done with the Brentford side over the last years. As you look at a certain Mbeumo, look at Johan Wissa, I generally don't think Dominic Solanke is a number 9 in the mode of Johan Wissa. I also don't think what's his name now, the right winger Kudus is also in the mode of Mbeumo too. And you look at their midfield, I don't think they have the Nogard and all those type of players in the midfield. So I generally ask myself, do I expect him to actually do a whole lot with this Tottenham Hotspur? I'm not saying. I feel along the season he's going to get sacked because I feel he's a manager that is okay for a new stable side.
Yeah.
But the jump up will be just too much.
So do you think he's going to get sacked?
Yeah, I think
maybe later, maybe second half of the season.
Yeah, not very early. But I think you'll get knocked out of Champions League. That I'm very sure.
Well, I think in my opinion, the way I saw like the improvement, the instant impact they already had, because we played Tottenham Hotspur in Hong Kong or something, and the way they were actually comfortable playing from the back, which they are not known to do, because I think during being big ants era, it was all about counter attack, eye line, all those things. So this time around, they're also very technical. They are also defensively solid. I think that might actually keep them, but I don't think they will win anything with that, because they can't just sit back and just absorb pressure. But I think they are just getting to transition into a team that wants to know when to attack and when not to. So I think it might not get sacked, maybe, but I think it just depends on the run of the fixtures too. And then the only thing that's actually giving me a red flag about him might be because he's not really handled the team that's played in Europe and then managed the league. I think that might be the issue. And I feel like they've not strengthened enough, honestly. I think they've not strengthened. They just Kudus and Morgan Gessler was supposed to be, but that fell through, obviously. So now Madison is injured, so they are probably going to go into to get another creative midfielder because they cannot afford not to strengthen that particular one. Now let's move to Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, Pep.
Pep.
Bald man.
The bald magician or the bald genius. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel this is going to be an interesting one for him though, because we saw the underperformance of the Manchester City side last season.
Yeah.
And I feel they spent a whole lot in January to sort of cover up for that. And I don't know if that did a good job per se, because if you look at the players, they went to loans and signed Oceanov. Although their signings have been an interesting one.
Yeah.
I feel from the January to present now. Although I still think they do need a right back, and they've been a whole lot of talk about different players. I don't think Rico Lewis and Martinez Nunes are going to be able to cover that across the length of the season, and especially when they come up against very good left wingers, especially in Champions League, top teams. I don't know how they're going to do, but I feel they have sort of strengthened in midfield and in attack.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm still going to keep Manchester City to go to win the league, or at the end of the season.
That's supposed to be a series on its own. We'll make predictions later. But I think it's good to have your strong opinion.
Yes, but I feel the pressure on Pep Guardiola is there, and you can say it's there and not so there, because I feel there's a lot of people that say.
When I say pressure, I'm not saying that, because I feel like pressure for Pep is different, because there's this double standard for Pep, and because it's supposed to be at the top, supposed to but I feel like he's never going to be a manager that was probably going to get sacked, because it's actually a whole lot for Manchester City. Sure. And I think for me, it's more like, what is he expected to do this summer, because they had a very bad season. It's supposed to be like a redemption season for them. So that's like the pressure.
I get that.
Not because of course we know that Pep is not going to they're not going to have this. They're not going to have the same season they had last season. Obviously, they spent a whole lot of money. In January, they spent over 200. This summer again over 200. So for me, they bought in a whole lot of players. The major issue is, can these players also replicate that, because they look like of Sujani Rangers and Czechia. They all look like world class players. Maybe not there yet, but they look like quality players, good players. But can they actually show that in the Premier League and also translate that? That's like the major issue here. But I think having Pep in your team is already a cheat code anyways, because if you have all the best and you don't have a tactician, a brilliant tactician behind the scenes, that's like the big advantage that Manchester City have over all other managers in the Premier League. Having Pep is always
but I feel there are a lot of midfielders that are also being sold. I feel Gundogan has left the club. I also feel a certain Matthew Kovacic should also left the club. I feel he has reached the height of what he can possibly do. Also, I think Bernardo Silva too. I feel
but you need the rotation options for Carabao Cup, FA Cup, and the Champions League as well.
That's why I feel the youth in the team is certainly bet of Nico Riley last season, or Cabo, though he got injured, he broke his leg, it was the season started. So I feel a lot of things are happening, but like you said, the pressure you expect Pep to always be at the top. Is he always going to be at that top against this particular team? I feel it's going to be interesting how the season goes for him, but I'm trying to remember who is their first game to see. I feel that's when we're going to clearly see, okay, if Manchester is going to struggle, and the defensively, and their defensive solidity, I feel it's something that going to be called into this particular team. The Trafford is starting ahead of Edison, right? I don't know about that. I'm just saw news about Ruben Diaz having a new contract. Who's going to be his partner? Maybe Guardiola comes into CB2 and partners Ruben Diaz. As many plays left back. And like I said, the right back. I still feel someone should be signed to actually cover right back. But going forward, I feel they'll be very good. But defensively, last season was where the issue was.
And they've not really addressed it this season yet. But you could say that they had a whole lot of issues, because Ake got injured, then Akonji got injured, then John Stones, then Ruben Diaz. So the back four, I think it was only Gavadio that actually stayed throughout the entire season. So for me, I think so Pep, what do you expect him to get? So you're backing him to win the Premier League?
I'm backing him to win the Premier League. Personally, maybe it's biased in my mind.
Because you're a huge Pep fan.
I'm backing him to go and win every trophy in England this particular season. I feel
No. You cannot imagine. What did you just say? That Pep will win the Premier League, the Carabao Cup, and the FA Cup.
Yeah, he has done it before with Manchester City.
He's done it before, but that's because look at the way other teams have been strengthening as well.
Other teams have also been strong then too. But I feel
No. You cannot compare Arsenal of like 3-4 years or Chelsea of 3-4 years ago to what they have now.
I feel Arsenal have regressed.
They've regressed.
If you have been honest, because I feel if you're looking at the Arsenal
We'll
side,
get to Arsenal. Wait, we'll get to
yes.
Arsenal later. Alright,
Yes.
we'll get to Arsenal.
I feel Arsenal have regressed. I feel Chelsea are not still. I feel like I said, I've been saying that the Club World Cup performance is overperformance. There's no
For Chelsea.
Yes, there's no.
So they're saying they overperformed.
Yeah, they
Missing
overperformed.
PSG is overperformance.
You can go on to win a title and not be the best side in it. Because then we're going to look at the Flamingo game. This is the performance that was put up there. Then you now imagine the Flamingo performance was now also put up. Now imagine the Flamingo performance was now also the same performance put up in the final. So yes, personally feel there was a performance from the team.
From Chelsea.
And I think Liverpool are going to be an interesting one. I expect them to challenge a whole lot to push Manchester City.
Then if they get Isaac.
Yes, especially. So yes. But like I said, I expect him to win every title in England.
So Pep to win, according to Fair News, we'll come and revisit this thing.
Yeah.
Thank God it will be on YouTube. So we'll come and revisit this thing. So
Yeah,
Fair is saying that Pep, he backs
title in
Pep
England.
to win every title, Carabao Cup, FA Cup.
And the league title.
So what about Pep with Champions League? We're not giving him that one too.
I think it's going to be a huge action because I feel
Barcelona.
no,
Who do you back to win the Champions League? Let's get into that. We'll do a series after that.
Yeah, maybe in September when we see the
draws,
the league phase and we see how things are going to go. Because Manchester City probably say, okay, expected them to be going all the way last year. They remember the two Kylian Mbappe, but all that didn't happen after everything.
Football is really hard to predict, honestly.
Exactly.
It's
But
really hard.
But me, I'm sitting here saying Pep is going to win everything in England.
Alright. Okay, now let's talk about Ruben Amorim. And we're also talking about Amorim because of the season he had last season.
Yeah.
And then the statement he made yesterday, I think to BBC News, where he said that he wants to stay at Manchester United for 20 years. And should that be the priority for Ruben Amorim? Because that should not be the priority. I think it should be focused more on getting the team together to actually get them, to make them look like a proper team. It's really hard to judge with the season they've had because they've not really played a top team. They played, teams in the Premier League, weak side in the Premier League. I won't really say weak side, but like maybe mid-table sides.
Yeah.
Maybe like they've not played any top 5 teams in the Premier League. And Bournemouth. So only Bournemouth actually like the standout, from last season. But then you cannot really say if they're going to bring that same form into this season as well.
Yeah.
So Ruben Amorim, do you think he's going to get sacked? The amount of pressure on him because
I don't know.
Manchester United is a big club, one of the biggest, if not the biggest club in England.
Yeah. And
you look at the pressure, and he got away with a whole lot of nonsense last season because there are a whole lot of negative records that he broke.
Yeah.
Let's not get into that.
Although you could say I can have late start most of those things.
He did, but the thing is, even with the bad stats, Eric Ten Hag did not really have he didn't lose the amount of games that Ruben Amorim lost last season. It was a really bad one for Manchester United. But at the end of the day, we saw glimpses of what they could do as a team.
Yeah, especially in the game against Aston Villa.
Even against Arsenal as well, where Arsenal could not even touch the ball.
Yeah.
So it's all about integrating and bringing in players, which they are also trying to do. They brought in Mbeumo, they brought in Konya, then who else? Also, they're trying to get in Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig. Yeah. If that actually, happens, that's actually a great addition.
Yeah.
A great addition to the team at number 9. So that means, what do you think? What do you expect from Amorim? The pressure is on that because a lot of fans are just waiting for him for this season. Like, half of what he did last season, like all those nonsense that he did with losing a whole lot of games, if we see something similar to that, he's getting sacked for sure. By December, he's out of that club because there's no more excuses. He's had the money now. He's had maybe not the perfect window, but he had that because one of the major issues with Manchester City last season was they had attacks. They had attacking issues. The attacking issues was really poor. Like there was only maybe Bruno and Amadi Allo was actually chipping in goals. The attack was just there. Zexi was injured. Orion was a fighter. Was more the WWE player than a regular footballer on the pitch. So for me, what do you expect from Ruben Amorim next season?
Yeah, if you ask me, I think his first full season as the manager of Manchester United. Although we have seen what he did with Sporting CP in Portugal and all of that, and how he took them in Champions League.
Portuguese league is different. Let's use the same analogy now because people are saying Gyökeres will flop at Arsenal because of the Portuguese league. So do you think Amorim will also flop at Manchester United?
I'm not part of the school of that says, oh, your coach is going to be a villain.
Mm,
I feel in Arsenal, sorry, I feel once you're a good player, it's clearly going to show.
sure.
And no, remember, Amorim, I can't say sit down here and say, oh, he's a good manager because of this and that and that.
I want to
They
stay
are,
there for 20 years, remember.
yeah, he wants to be the next Alex Ferguson. I don't know how possible that is. Although Alex Ferguson had started for Manchester United, he had a very poor team and he kept on going from there and went on to do greater things. What I don't know. When Amorim's team, I think he has sort of he's going to be on the course of getting service particularly, especially if they start very poorly.
Poorly,
So
yeah.
because they have pushed out homegrown players, they have pushed out Marcus Rashford, they're probably going to push out Alejandro Garnacho.
Jadon Sancho also
Yeah, so
on his way out.
yeah, like ask yourself, okay, then who did he bring? He wasn't assessing Mbeumo and Matsushki. And I asked myself, if these players don't do very good in the first few games of the season, it's going to be a whole lot of pressure. Say, okay, we put out our Rashford, and he's one of our best players over the last few
They're
years.
star boy.
Yes,
They're star boy.
Then you now give us a Kunya and Mbeumo who are not doing anything.
But I'm actually happy. Most if you ask all Man United fans, they are super excited about the signings of Mbeumo and Kunya, honestly.
Yeah, those
But
are
it's all about
players they like.
at the end of the day, they just scapegoat him if it doesn't work out. Because if it doesn't work out with Mbeumo and Kunya, the next scapegoat is Amorim, not even the player.
Exactly. So I genuinely think, and now he's trying to force his player at the back to step on the Manchester United side. Although I still feel that defense is strong, like you said, their problem last season was fairly scoring goals.
Yeah.
Then you now look at the midfielder. I genuinely think a midfielder needs to be brought in. But if he does get sacked, I think it's going to be very early in the season, especially if definitely against
You think so?
against Arsenal.
Because I think they're backing him big time.
Yeah,
Manchester United board.
maybe my early is probably different from the early I think.
Maybe October or
yes.
November side.
Yeah, I think November is probably when he's going to get sacked. He does get sacked, but if he doesn't get sacked around that period,
If he survives, he manages to survive, then that means he's going to stay.
Yeah, I think he's going to go throughout the whole season.
So what's like your prediction? Where's Amorim going to finish next season?
Yeah, I cannot sit here and say okay because
it's still early, honestly.
It's still very, very early, and his pedigree hasn't shown like Pep has shown his pedigree that he can clearly do this and do that. For sure, but when Amorim, we can't say okay, we're expecting that his team are going to improve and do this and do that. So we cannot say that about him. But I think for United fans to be happy and for the board to be happy, a top 6 finish and a strong cup run, a very strong cup run, maybe getting to the final or semi-final and getting beaten by a big team.
Yeah.
Not just we went to the final, we now lost to
Crystal Palace.
Exactly. Those type of things.
Alright. So you're backing Manchester United to finish top 4 next season.
Not top 4, I said top 6.
Top 6.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's talk about the main man now. Probably the main event, the main course, the main dish, and that is Mikel Arteta. This is the 6th season. Going into the 6th season, he got the job. I think he got the job around 2019, and you just have to look at what was achieved at Arsenal. He's actually transitioned the team from top 6 finishers or European finishers to title challengers.
Yeah.
He got them to the semi-final of the Champions League. Got them to the quarter-final of the Champions League. He's won 1 FA Cup and 2 Community Shield titles. Because apparently, when Mikel Arteta said Community Shield is a title, everybody went But when Pep said it, automatically the Community Shield is now a title. So we count that as a title for Arsenal. So that's 3 titles for Arsenal. But it's not, the only major one is the FA Cup title.
Yeah.
Now, what do you expect from me? The pressure, because he spent a whole lot of money. He spent almost $1 billion now. I think he spent somewhere around 900 million.
Since he came.
900 million. Because everything about the squad now, and the signings now, everything about the signings, all the players who sit there actually brought in by Mikel Arteta, except Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, that came to
the likes of Granit Xhaka, all of them, those ones, Aubameyang, Alexander Lacazette, all of those players, he got rid of them. So now the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes, although he didn't buy Saliba, but you can say that he incorporated him into the team. So he still, these are his players now, so no excuses. He finally got in the striker in Victor Gyökeres. The question now is, can he really adapt? Can he really adapt his playing style to suit Victor Gyökeres? Because I've seen Arsenal, I'm an Arsenal fan myself, I've seen Arsenal a lot. And I've noticed that we're always going side to side. Like the middle part of the field is non-existent.
Yeah.
It's just there. We kind of just ignore that and just play to the right side, which is predominantly our attacking side. where maybe 60% or 70% of the attack
Balls go there.
goes there, and then 30% goes to the left side. So for me, for you rather, what are your expectations for Mikel Arteta? Because the pressure on him, everybody is looking at. Even rival fans are actually more interested in Arsenal's case than their club's case now. So what do you expect from Mikel Arteta this season? What can he win? Let's say the Premier League is not achievable for him. I'm not saying it is not, but let's say with the Manchester City team, with the Liverpool team, you cannot really blame him for not winning that. I'm not saying that's not a big excuse.
I think you have to blame him though.
We have to blame him. But wait, we'll get there. But what are your expectations? What can he? Okay, let's say he doesn't win the Premier League. If he wins the FA Cup and let's say Carabao Cup, is that good enough to make him stay at Arsenal?
I think Arsenal fans are looking for the big one, either the Premier League or the Champions League.
Thank you.
So I think I still feel if he does not win a top major title, he will win the Arsenal manager. I feel the Arsenal fans are probably happy with how far he has gotten them and say, okay, they're probably taking us from and Wenger left us. And I feel
it's taking Arsenal there for like 3 years now.
Yeah, but Arsenal,
and there's still nothing to show for it.
Wenger consistently, although he didn't win a whole lot, he Arsenal went 10 years without a title under Arsene Wenger.
Yeah.
And he still remained the manager. So,
but was winning FA Cups though.
But I'm saying he went 10 years without a title, no title at all until they won FA Cup again.
Yeah.
Then he waited again and now won another FA Cup. So I feel after.
But it's not Arsene Wenger. You cannot because you compare the money that they backed Arsene Wenger with at that time. Investment, you cannot compare to what they backed Arteta in every way possible now.
Yeah.
It is not left for him to deliver. So we all know that as an Arsenal fan myself, and maybe I'm speaking for all Arsenal fans out there, it's either the Premier League or the Champions League. So let's say now by maybe like he was quite unlucky. Let's say he missed out on the Premier League with just 1 point or maybe goal difference. And then he now got to the final of the Champions League and lost again. Maybe through controversial refereeing decisions and everything. And he wins nothing. Is that enough to keep him in the job? Because there's one thing to like get us there. There's one thing to get us over the line.
Yeah, so if you ask it, I think anything he does this season is enough to keep him in the job. Because if you look into the managerial market, then ask yourself, who else are you going to bring if you start a certain Mikel Arteta? I generally don't think there is anyone with the Arsenal mentality that you want to bring to the team that probably incorporates youth players and also do a whole lot of them play good football that you say, okay, you probably bring to the team. So maybe that could be something that could say, okay, he's not going to get sacked no matter what happens in the particular season. For sure, yes, that aside. The Arsenal fans believe this is the year to actually close the gap. Maybe they felt last year.
We fell off, yeah.
Yeah, Manchester City were not there and they said, okay, actually Manchester City might be holding us for winning this. They are meant to cover up and actually win this year. And Liverpool now eventually won a much wider gap. So yeah, I feel Arsenal fans will have to be. I feel they have to be content with finishing very, very close to the top. Because I feel Mikel Arteta has done a great job. Although, like I said a few minutes ago, he has actually regressed the Arsenal side. He's now too one-dimensional, too predictable.
Yeah.
So you expect that
Thank you.
Once he goes to the right hand side.
It's always Saka and Odegaard.
So yes, I feel what Arsenal fans are looking for to this is challenging for titles. I feel that's one thing that the Arsenal board will always be looking at.
It's now a normal thing. Challenging for the title is no longer good enough for the Arsenal fan base. I hope I'm actually speaking for everybody.
That's the thing. Challenging for the title will no longer be good enough for Arsenal fans. I feel the Arsenal hierarchy have said, okay, they are able to challenge. Okay, we'll do this. Maybe one of these years, we'll get it. But I feel the main thing for Mikel Arteta this particular year is going to be, okay, how am I going to evolve my playing style? Actually bring out the best in, like you said, Vicky, your correct. How is he going to score up to the amount of goals that he actually
involve the left side of the attack as well.
So these are,
and the middle.
Yes, so I feel these are the things that Arsenal fans should be looking at. And I feel if more of the other attacking players are much more involved, I feel they have a very, very brilliant season. Because I feel if you look at the Arsenal setup, you go like someone said.
Let me tell you, it's like this: Raya to Saliba or Gabriel. Gabriel passes to Ben White or maybe Odegaard. Odegaard gives it to Saka. Then inshallah, cross into the box like Stoke City FC and pray that somebody eats like the kind of nuts.
Yeah, I actually remember someone on social media saying that Arsenal sort of tries to recreate corner pitch routines with normal attacking players.
Yeah.
If you just see all the players in the box, then there's nobody. One issue I usually have with a manager is if you are playing against a team and a player always has to beat 2 or 3 men to create chance, then there's a serious issue. There's a very, very serious issue, and there's no spare man. They say, okay, just imagine a Saka coming against 3 defenders, and you're expecting
to beat, and there's nobody coming in to actually help out.
10 out of 10 times is feeling that he has to beat those 3 men.
Yeah.
So he now actually does create a chance. I feel there's a serious issue. I feel that's the issue with Arsenal. Arsenal not the chance creating machine. That's why I see the videos in 2023 season. I feel Arsenal creating much more
fluid.
Yeah, you
didn't know who to mark.
Yeah,
but now
I feel they are way rigid and they expect just give the ball to Saka. And I feel Saka is not the type of player that you say he's going to be explosive and going to dribble and dribble 3-4 players and now.
He's just a smart player.
Yeah, exactly. So I genuinely don't know how Arteta. I feel that's the main thing Arteta has to work for season. Actually make the team tick again, like the way they ticked before. And personally, I think Arsenal will be challenging for the Premier League and the Champions League because I feel last year we went to the semi-finals. Although you could say, poor season for Arsenal though, but I think Arsenal fans just have to be content that 2 bigger teams are ahead of them, and they just have to keep on pushing and pushing.
So I say that we should be content with playing third, not even second fiddle.
Yeah,
third fiddle every year. I don't agree with that.
I just feel that should be happening. Although, like I said, I doubt if Arteta does get sacked.
Yeah, I get it might not get sacked because he kind of like has a whole lot of backing from the board and they respect him. But at the end of the day, you mentioned something that actually didn't really sit with me, and that was the fact that who would they bring in?
Exactly.
Who was Anslot before they?
No. Oh, if
you do know about Anslot, but maybe you've heard, but not really deep. You look at Javi and Hernandez now.
Yeah.
Similar style of play to Mikel Arteta, and I think a better style of play, Tiki Taka, which is.
Xavi wasn't known for his attacking football when in his final season in Barcelona, especially he was known for, especially seeing that the title was won playing defensively, scoring, keeping the score at 1-0, and that's almost a similar thing to Mikel Arteta.
Yeah. So the first half is kind of similar. So if he doesn't get the job,
personally, I feel Xavi Hernandez, maybe because that's another person that could probably come in. Personally,
to fill in,
But personally, I don't think he should be going in for that particular job because I feel the Arsenal side, if Mikel Arteta does leave, I feel a lot of players will leave with him. I feel a certain players like Saliba, Odegaard, Havertz. So I feel if Arsenal do let go of manager Mikel Arteta, they'll be actually letting go
of a whole lot of players
at the same time. So I feel letting go of him is going to be an interesting one, and like I said, a viable option that we expect that. Okay, you cannot expect that we Hernandez to come in and say, okay, I just need to win the league this particular season as it comes in. So yes, that's the issue.
The issue is there because look at Arsenal has actually raised the standard now, which is you can actually win the league in your first season. You might say you got quite lucky. Manchester City struggled with injuries. Arsenal struggled with injuries. Chelsea were not really. They lacked the experience. They lacked the experience too. So by the end of it, they still won it.
Yeah, but I feel why he did win it was because a certain Mohamed Salah was at the peak of his powers.
Well, or maybe he actually played to Mohamed Salah's strength.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually be so. For me, I think Arteta's this thing now is his priority should be playing into his attacker strength.
Yes.
Do not rely on Saka alone. Use other players. Martinelli is always like people I get it. Martinelli, they don't really know how to beat his man. He's always looking for corners. I get it, but we don't really use him more like that. It's always Saka and Odegaard. Ben White also coming in to join the attack, or Timber, and then the middle is just there, just like none. So that's why most of the time you see Saka crossing into the middle of the pitch, there's nobody there because they are not expecting it because the middle is just like non-existent and they don't.
But
really
maybe your
utilize
friend feels into that position.
But the sad thing is the little cameo I saw from Victor. It's still early to judge, but the little cameo I saw from Victor against Tottenham Hotspur, they were still not using that middle. It was still sideways. And I think that is one thing that should be, change something because Arsenal is too predictable and he needs to fix that ASAP.
Although I feel proper big team, maybe you talk about the Pep Guardiola side. But what he tried to always do is take the opposition to one particular side and switch it to the other side.
Drag them out of position.
Yeah, maybe that's
and I feel like we're too slow in transitions.
Yeah, that
is one of the greatest signs of Victor Gyökeres. We are too. You look at Odegaard; he's always dressing the ball. They give him the ball, pass it, but no, he's always going to do. And then he will give the time, like the opposition, the time to reset,
to cover up.
And then they will still make the obvious pass that was supposed to make like 10 seconds ago.
So
that's like that was a major distance. So for me, my question for Mikel Arteta this season is to either win the Premier League or the Champions League.
So if he
And
doesn't
if he does
win,
not win it, wait,
you sack him.
let me paint the picture. I can't sack him because I don't have the power to sack him.
Would
But
you
my
wish him
expectation
sack?
is to win either the Premier League or the, no excuses. I don't want to hear it. Liverpool, they were not even supposed to be, you know, in the top 2 last season. And look at them. So I don't want to hear, Man City, they you know, recruited a whole lot of players. Liverpool are also spending money. I don't want to hear that. It's either you win the Premier League or the Champions League. And if you don't, maybe by sheer, you know, by like, you know, unfortunate events, like, you know, dropping points when it actually matters the most, that which is like our trademark by this point. So for me, I think, let's say you lose the Premier League with 1 point, you get to the Champions League final and you lose that, maybe in a very, very, maybe last minute goal. I won't be angry, but at least bring me the Carabao Cup too.
Funny thing is that I think it's very interesting.
Funny thing is,
I'm beginning to think of themselves way bigger than yeah. I was just.
So I say that I was not a big team. No. We're trying to return to the glory days.
The glory days, there was never a glory days that you said Arsenal would. Maybe apart from Arsene Wenger's first few years of the
2002,
all the
1, 2, 3, and 4.
There's not been any time that you go to the top to the beginning of the season and say, okay, Arsenal are expected to win the league by fire, by force.
That is it. That is it. Because most of us, this time I was not even like a football fan. I didn't even know what football was at that time because I was still really young. I was not, as a girl, I was just interested in watching cartoons. But for me, the point is, Arsenal are still like a big team, whether I like it or not. There's still expectations. And at the end of the day, we've been, should I say, quite unlucky, maybe from the inexperience of the manager to the players as well. But when are we eventually going to get over the line?
My question is that you are a generational manager in Pep Guardiola is there. And generational Premier League player, the greatest player of all time, if you ask me, Mohamed Salah is there.
So you really? So you're saying that Mo Salah is the greatest player of all time?
I feel he's the greatest Premier League player of all time. There's no Premier League player better than him. Actually.
Better than Thierry Henry?
He's better than Thierry Henry. Because I feel, like I still remember last season, I said, if he actually does go on to win the Golden Boot, and
he didn't break the assist though. The assist record.
Yeah, he didn't break the record, but he had the most goals and assists ever by a Premier League player.
But that does not make him. He just didn't. Oh my God. Oh my God.
He had 31 goals and 18 plus assists. No other player apart from Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo has ever done that in any season.
And then you have Thierry Henry. I think he has this record of getting 20 more than 20 goals consecutively for 5 seasons.
And this guy has also done it.
Well, but for me, I don't think. See, when it comes to output, and you compare, like, you know, the style of play back then to now, because at that time it was all about you know how Liverpool works. Feed the ball to Salah and let he knows.
Funny how the Arsenal side will also sort of use that.
No.
It
was the main man, Patrick Vieira. We had, but he was still chipping in goals. So, a whole lot of goals at that. We have Perez as well. So you cannot. That's the opinion, and I cannot argue with that. But for me, like nobody beats Thierry Henry.
Personally, I feel Salah has. There's no. If you think of any Premier League player, there's no one that comes close to Salah. If you ask me, maybe probably Thierry Henry finished.
But we would like people in the comment section be the judge of that, because I'm very sure people out there have different opinions. But I don't think, for me, I don't think Mo Salah is the best Premier League player. But what are you saying? But that's your opinion.
31, 25, 23. There's no one who can give you this sort of consistency. That you're not like Messi or Ronaldo.
So, but he's not.
That's what I'm saying, and he's that type of player that's giving us that type of consistency.
Yeah. Well, I get it, Sha. I get it. But when it comes to like output, of course, Mo Salah is like one of the greatest players. But he's still not. He's not even close to Alex Ferrer's record yet.
And he has won more titles than Thierry Henry. So.
Yeah, Sha.
So.
Yeah. So I think. So the expectation from Arsenal is what now? From Mikel Arteta.
I just feel play better and create.
Be
very close enough to the top.
So we have 0 chances of winning the Premier League.
Yes, I think so.
0.
Yes, I think so.
0.
Yes, I think so.
So even if we get like Eze and Rodrigo in the team,
I still doesn't feel those into Arsenal chances. Because if you look at, like I said, the generational manager in Pep Guardiola and generational player in Mohamed Salah, with the money the Liverpool side also spent too. I don't just think
So
that's
it's not a bad being generational, honestly. What if he loses his form or he gets injured? Everything is down the drain. Look at what happened
That's
to
the same
Manchester
thing.
City.
That's the same thing. I was also saying ifs. There's a whole lot of ifs here.
Ifs. But for me, the position is clear. If you can't win the Premier League or Champions League, bring me Carabao Cup or FA Cup. I'm tired. But at the same time, if you cannot win them, I'm not saying that you should get knocked out of the Champions League in the round of 16 phase. So I'm saying semi-final or final, or at the same time you're actually really close, to Manchester City and Liverpool. But I actually believe in my team. I think if Mikel Arteta, like I said, improves his tactics and is flexible enough, we can actually go all the way. But if not, if he's still playing the same rigid style, my dear, we are closer to third than we're actually, closer to the first position.
Yeah.
So for me, our slot's not really under pressure. Even if he falls off this season,
he has already earned himself.
He earned himself like that bonus year to actually settle in. And he's getting a whole lot of backing too. So it's really going to be interesting.
Although I still feel they still need to strengthen the midfield
and defense, with Konate might still be leaving. There's still time for him to make that move too.
But if he doesn't sign a new contract by January, he should actually be able to sign a contract with any other team.
Alright.
Out of England.
Alright guys, that is the video there. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. And let us know if you would like us to do a video about managers in La Liga under pressure and Bundesliga. Bundesliga is still like a pharmacy. We all know that it's going to be Bayern Munich all over again.
Eric Ten Hag there though.
That one is going to get fired. It's a no-brainer because listen to under 17 side.
Yeah, because I think he has lost key members of the
Frimpong,
Shaka, Florian.
Correct. So these are the key players, and that shows that they don't really believe in him because if we have we're not about to be part of this nonsense thing. So for me, thank you for joining us again. See you guys later. Subscribe. Bye.
Subscribe to my channel.